Hello, everyone. Officially recording right now. My name is John Ortiz, and I got my partner on the call, Jefferson, as well as Fitz and Lumen. Got a couple
Awesome,
more people
awesome,
coming in.
awesome. Yeah. So yeah. Welcome everybody. Just like John said, we're excited to share this and share a little bit more about how exactly we were able to get our first couple deals, and just share, give a lot of value. That's our main purpose of today. Just provide a lot of value, guidance, and answer any questions, any myths that there may be around this business, and like I said, just provide a tremendous amount of value. So that's the purpose of the call here. So today, part of the presentation is going to be inside of our first $100,000 wholesale deals. This event is exclusively how we found the deal, how we structure it, and how we walked away with over six figures in wholesale fees. For those that don't know us or they may not be new to us, the name of our company is Ortiz Equity Group. And John, if you want to go to the next slide.
Yep.
Okay, so what is going to be in today's agenda? What we're going to be covering today. First thing is, who is Ortiz Equity Group? Who are they? What are they all about? Second thing is meet the team. I want you guys to introduce you to the team, the operators behind this business. What is wholesaling? I know that our gentleman from BC here was asking, he's interested to learn a little bit more about wholesaling. How we got our first $100,000 deal step by step. So we're going to show you guys, break it down exactly how it works. We're going to show checks. So we're going to show exactly the checks, and so you guys can see live, literally checks that we got. How we operate today compared to how we operated in the past, obviously utilizing AI automations and all the technology in today's environment. And then lastly is, if you are interested and you want to learn how you can work with us, but also stick to the end because we will be giving away some free value and some free resources. So do stay till the end. Go ahead, John.
So who is Ortiz Equity Group, and what do we do exactly? So Ortiz Equity Group is a full-scale real estate investment company operating across Canada and the U.S. We specialize in off-market acquisitions, multifamily properties, land, wholesaling, creative finance strategies. It was founded by Jefferson and myself. As you can tell, we're obviously brothers. We manage a portfolio to date of around 330 units, and we also run a seven-figure wholesaling business. Our approach is simple. We're operators, and we also like to educate people as well. So every strategy that we teach, we execute. And we source our deals, where they can't be really found. We structure them creatively and then deliver results for our portfolio, our list of investors, and also our clients and our students who partner up with us.
Yeah.
Jeff, anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, just add to that. And just so everybody knows, how we got started was one wholesale deal. Never in a million years did we ever think we would get here, but it just goes to show you the power of this business, the power of, getting off-market deals and really understanding how to find those opportunities, how to put them together. It really has changed our life, and we hope that it can do something similar to the people that are on this call. It can really be a life-changing strategy for anybody, including us, of course, right?
Yeah, we have really made this into essentially a business that now we operate in both Canada and the US, and we'll get a little bit farther into that as we continue here.
Awesome. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. John will tell you a little bit about himself, but a little bit of background on us, guys. We're originally from Colombia, so we're immigrants from Colombia. We came to Canada with nothing, with my mom. She's a single mom of 4 kids. And so we came from literally nothing. We don't come from a rich family. We don't come from money. And a little bit of background on myself. After graduating high school, I went into the insurance world, and I was selling home and auto insurance, and started doing that for a while, and then fell in love with wholesaling back in 2021, where we actually found a mentor, a coach that showed us exactly how this business works here in Canada. And then obviously we've operated all over Canada and in the US and built our portfolio. And I'm a husband, married, 2 kids, and I'm also a Christian. So a little bit of background on myself.
A little background on myself. I went to school for international trade and logistics. I ended up in the procurement sector. I worked for a huge oil and gas company. And then me and my brother again, we started with one deal, and now we operate a huge wholesaling business. And I specialize right now in real estate in both underwriting, asset manage, also investor relations, and making the company grow pretty much. And focusing on essentially just educating investors as well and helping them get into real estate, whether they're looking for their first wholesale deal or they're looking for their first fix and flip, or even more advanced investors that are into the bigger stuff like multifamily apartment buildings, helping them structure deals in regards to equity, profits, and so on. And yeah, that's a little background on myself there.
Okay, and just to add to that, and just so everybody knows, we are headquartered. We're actually in our headquarters right now. We're headquartered in Hamilton, Ontario. But like I said, we do business all across Canada and in the US. And in our headquarters here in Hamilton, we actually are vertically integrated. So, property management, leasing, construction, everything is in-house. So sort of like that Costco effect is what we wanted to create. So we're here in Hamilton, and that's our headquarters. John, if you want to go to the next slide. Now, we do have some team members here, so I'll let them give an introduction. I know we got Fitz, Lumen, and Tuan. Fitz, if you want to say a few words here. You might be muted, so you might have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I am. Great to be here. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hey.
Awesome. Well, my name is Troy Lee. Go ahead, John. Let me hear you.
Yeah, so Fitz, it's one of our managing partners, and he is a huge leader, both personally and business, in business development. So he is one of our managing partners. Like I said, he oversees very high level strategic partnerships as we continue to grow and expand in the business. He also currently operates a lot of the systems and operations and making sure that everything runs at 100% as we continue to grow and get so many leads and deals on the go. He really does help us making sure that we're moving on a very, very smooth pace. Now we have Tuan. He's as well on the call.
John. Thank you.
Yeah,
no problem. Tuan, if you want to unmute yourself and say a couple words so I can introduce yourself, it's up to you.
But hold on, John. Just let Fitz say some words as well. Anything you want to add, Fitz?
No, we're here just powering away, running a huge operation, and we're here to help and serve. So thank you guys for coming, for joining the call. Much appreciated.
Awesome. Go ahead, John.
Tuan, he is our vice president. He takes care of a lot of the operations in regards to deal flow, investor relation, managing buyers, seller relationships. He does a lot of the deal instincts, communication, and he drives a lot of our revenue and keeping the pipeline moving at all times. With our current deal flow that we have in regards to apartment buildings, fix and flips, and so on. Now we have Lumen. He is our acquisition manager. So again, he takes care of acquiring the deal, spreadsheets, underwriting, sending offers, writing offers. And yeah, he's very, very knowledgeable. Lumen's on the call. Lumen, if you want to say a couple words, you're more than welcome to.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? As John said, my name is Lumen. I was actually a student of, and I'm still a student of Jefferson and John. I found out about them and I'm connected with them. And within 2 to 3 months, they helped me become very successful in wholesaling. And I started working for them, and I'm very much appreciative to be here. And I'm the acquisition manager. So if you guys have any questions after this, just feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Lumen.
Yeah.
Jeff, anything you want to add before we move to the next slide?
No, I mean, every great company and every great business is built with people, and we're very grateful for the people we have here. This is just a couple of the people in our group here. The main leader. This is the leadership group, but we have obviously other people underneath us. But no, we're just we're grateful to be here. We're grateful to have the team that we have, and grateful to just bring some value to you guys. So no, nothing to add, John. If you want to go to the next slide. Okay, so do you want to go this one, John?
Sure. So here, for those that are on the call that are real estate investors, you know what wholesaling is. I will give a brief description of what it is for the people that are new or that don't know what this business is. So wholesaling is the process of finding off-market properties, or as we call them, deals that are below market value below market value. We lock them up under contract, and then we assign that contract to a investor, or as we call them, cash buyers, for a wholesale fee or an assignment fee. You never actually own the property. You never need a mortgage or renovation budget. You can essentially earn up to between 20 up to, I mean, I've seen deals in the US hit almost $1 million when it comes to assignment fees and the actual deal and how much spread is on the deal. There is no license required. It is a bit of a myth in Canada if you can actually do wholesaling. And yes, you can. It is just a very niche business and skill to know and acquire. You can do it. I mean, we've done deals in Nova Scotia. We've done deals in Saskatchewan. We've done deals in Michigan. So no large capital needed. It's just the right skills, the systems, operations, and the network. And there's really three main pillars to this business. One, which Jeff will touch in farther in, is marketing, contract, and assign. So, Jeff, if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, John. So yeah, just like John said, the main three components of this business is the marketing, right? Creating a pipeline of people that are motivated, people that want to sell. I mean, as you know, in Canada right now, I think it's about 50% of all Canadian mortgages are renewing this year. Rates that were going from 1.5% to 2%, all the way up to 3.5%, 4%, or even higher. So marketing, generating those leads. There's obviously different methods to this, right? In which we go over, and you can see here some of them: cold calling, on the ground prospecting, targeted letters. So that's the first component. That's the first pillar, is marketing, to generate those leads. The second component is the contract and the negotiation. So what exactly is the contract? How much should I offer the seller? Where do the numbers make sense? Whether it's a multifamily, whether it's a single family, where do the numbers make sense, in having the right contract and the right clauses in the contract. So that's pillar number two, the contract. And then once the seller has accepted that offer, we have ink on paper, where we have a contract in place. The third component to it is assignment. So finding the investor, finding the buyer. Option one, obviously, is to wholesale it and make a profit. So average wholesale fee, like John said, you can be anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000, but on average is usually between $20,000 to $30,000 profit when you wholesale the deal. So usually you can wholesale, make $20,000, $30,000. However, for those of you that have capital, or for those of you that want to actually flip it or buy yourself, you can also buy them. So option one is to wholesale it, but you also do have the option to acquire or buy the property yourself, because we're typically buying 60 to 70 cents on the dollar. So these are very discounted properties. So if you wanted to keep it, you would obviously get the equity of the property, right? So those are the three pillars: marketing, contracts, and assignment.
Next slide.
Yep. All right. So now, drum roll, time for the, give you guys a background on our very first wholesale deal. Okay. So our very first wholesale deal was this property in Welland, Ontario. And this was obviously, everything we do, guys, by the way, is off market, which means it is not listed with the realtor, and it's not listed on the MLS. Is the seller, and there's us. That's it. There is nobody in between us. So this particular property came through us sending out flyers. We sent out a bunch of flyers, and this owner of this property happened to contact us, and this is in Welland, Ontario. So he contacted us. He said, yeah, I received your flyer. I'm interested in selling my property. So then next step after that, we obviously wanted to see what the condition of the property, and obviously the seller was selling because the property was literally falling apart. Like if you walked up the stairs, it was literally cracks on the wall. So this guy was very, very motivated. He had kids in there, and he was worried that at some point the property was literally going to fall and it was just going to collapse. So this guy was very motivated. He had kids in there, and he knew that if he sold it on the MLS, it would never sell, because nobody would buy this, because it was literally falling apart. So it couldn't pass inspections. It would have to be done like a cash offer. Like somebody would have to buy it with cash. So he contacted us. We went to see it. We took some pictures, and then we were able to get the property for 70 cents on the dollar. And just to give everybody some more context, we were able to get this property for $200,000. $200,000, as is probably worth $280, $290, right? So we got it 70 cents on the dollar directly with the seller. And then as soon as we had it on the contract, now this is before we started getting into development, but before we got on the contract, we right away had an investor that was like, you know what? I like this property. I like it. I'll take it. And so he walked the property, and then we were able to assign it to this investor and basically get paid $54,000 $54,000. The average salary in Canada is around $50,000 to $60,000. So literally made a year's salary in one wholesale deal. But more importantly, if you guys actually look at the before and after, and you can see this property. When we got it, this is what it was: a house on a big lot. The lot was huge. It was a massive lot. The investor that bought it, because you guys might be asking, well, why would an investor pay $54,000? That's crazy, right? Well, here's why. He bought this property, tear it down, and then he built a total of 9 units. So 6 units on one side, 3 units on the other side. So a total of 9 units on a property that he paid $254,000. So what did he do? He took it, tore it down, and then he built a 9-unit apartment building here. And within a matter of, it didn't take that long. I think it was about a year and 8 months to about 2 years. He was able to get this built out. And this is why he bought it. Where it made sense for him. It made sense for the seller because he was very motivated. And it made sense for us because we made so quick $54,000. So that's the power of this business, guys. You guys can find a property where you can literally build a multifamily on it based on the zoning and lot size. Now, give you guys, that was back when we started out. Fast track to today, 2026, between ourselves and some of our partners, we're actually in the development space, and we actually have entered the development space, which is finding a property like this and building a multifamily, just like what you guys see here. But we're doing it more on the us doing it ourselves alongside with some partners. So you never know where this business is going to take you. But this was our very first wholesale deal. After that, all floods open, and we were just like, this business is amazing. We just made $54,000. We helped the seller, who was in a really tough situation, get rid of this property and move on from his life. And then we helped an investor secure an amazing deal where he built 9 units. So that was our very first wholesale deal, and we're very grateful. And that's how it was done, our very first wholesale deal.
That's Jeff. Is my audio still good? I just want to double check.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, awesome.
Anything you want to add, John?
Yeah, I mean, this was one of our very first deals. Obviously, we saw the power of this skill as entrepreneurs, as investors, and we turned it into a business today, right? So having the right systems and the operations behind it, to be able to do a couple of these a month, and obviously building a whole team behind it, like Jeff said. Now we're into the development space. We've moved into multifamily, private equity, and helping investors and so on. But yeah, this was definitely one of the very first deals that we learned a lot from, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome, John. If you want to go to the next slide. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Yep. Yeah. So essentially, this is a step-by-step on how a wholesaling deal would go through. So you essentially find the lead, which is most likely a motivated seller. Usually these are people that are going through, divorce. They might have a death in the family, or somebody that's sick, or they don't want the neighbors knowing that they're going to put their property on the market, and it might have some repairs that are needed and so on. And so that's what a motivated seller is. So they're moving out of the country or whatever. Behind on taxes, that's another huge one. Whatever the situation may be, that's essentially how you find a deal, or what a lead looks like, or how it should look like. And then you analyze the deal. Number 2, you run comparables, you estimate the after repair value, and then you calculate your maximal allowed offer, which allows you to have enough skin in the game to get paid, and then also enough skin in the game for the investor, right? Because you're assigning it to the investor. And so the way we like to analyze deals is, well, if we're not going to buy this, why would another investor buy this, right? So that's a good way to look at it. And then you essentially write an offer and officially get it under contract, or as we say, lock it up, which is an agreement purchase or sell below market value with an assignable clause built into the APS. And then you find the buyer. As you know, real estate is very popular, so there's always a pool of buyers, especially the ones that buy right, regardless of where the market is at. Whether the market is up or down, there's always going to be investors that are buying because they need to move capital. They need to put that capital to work, or preserve their capital if they're buying and holding and so on. As you guys know, the very, very famous Bird model with either single family homes or apartment buildings, but there still is a lot of investors that are currently doing fix and flips. We currently have a fix and flip out in Cambridge. So again, whether the market is up or down, there's always going to be investors that are buying. And then the final step is assign and collect our fee, which usually comes from our lawyers. So yeah, that's a little bit on this slide. Jeff, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, wholesaling is a very easy business. It's marketing, it's sales, it's negotiation. But ultimately, you always got to put your investor's hat on and say, does this deal actually make sense? Like, if I'm looking at it and I'm analyzing it, does the deal actually make sense or does it not make sense, right? Because if it doesn't make sense, then why even waste your time, right? So it has to make sense. There has to be other, it's a fix and flip. It's an investor who's going to buy and hold. It's a development like the one that we showed you just now. It has to make sense, right? As an investor, numbers always make sense. Now, as you guys may know, the market right now across Canada, obviously in the US, the market is very slow. However, nothing has slowed down on our end, as opposed to on the MLS with realtors. Market is slow, things are not moving. On the off-market space, things are moving left, right, center. We're getting multiple offers on properties. Buyers are still buying, right? Because they see this as an opportunity. Like the market is what it is right now. They're just buying good deals. And that's the big key thing, buying good deals that actually make sense. So I just wanted to add that, John.
Yeah, as a wholesaler, I mean, if there's any wholesalers here on the call, it is an active income generating business. And then as an investor, you can use this as a vehicle to drive active income. And then also, if you do come across good deals, you get to pick and choose what deals you want for yourself or your team, and so on. So just wanted to add that as well. We'll kind of move on to the next slide here.
Yeah, it might be a little bit hard to see there, and we will share this presentation with you guys. But essentially what we wanted to do is just share checks, like live checks. You can see the addresses, you can see the lawyer fees, but you can see the idea there, guys. Between these 4 deals that we did, it's over $100,000 in profit. I mean, $144,000 in 4 deals, right? At this stage where we are in our business, we're doing about, anywhere from about, I mean, Lumen can correct me on this, but we're doing about 7 to 10 deals a month on a given basis. So doing 4 deals in 12 months is very, very doable. $144,000 in 4 deals is 100% doable. Obviously, with the right systems, the right procedures, the right team behind you. But we run our operations. We have acquisition team, disposition team, and we're doing about 7 to 10 deals. Probably looking to scale that to about 15 to 20 deals, especially now that we're all over the US and we're doing some land development. So all that to say, guys, this business is amazing. It's real. And it can make you a lot of money, but more importantly, and I tell this to people all the time, you're learning skills that are going to benefit you for the rest of your life. Because, as long as there's people and there's houses, there will always be opportunities for wholesaling. And so it's a skill that you can take for the rest of your life, whether you want to build a portfolio or whether you just want extra cash flow. This is one of the best business in 2026, in my opinion.
All right, moving on to the next slide.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess what we wanted to show you guys here is where we started and how things were and where things are now in 2026. Big key, AI, right? AI is everybody's favorite word, including us. So when we started out, we're manually cold calling, spending a lot of time on the phone with sellers, calling sellers. We're using spreadsheets, pen and paper to track everything. We were still kind of networking and relying on buyers through networking events and just kind of getting out of our comfort zone in that regard. We were learning how to structure deals, how to negotiate, all those kind of key components when we started out. And we were very limited. Like we were mainly focusing on our own backyard because we were like, okay, this only works if we go meet with the sellers, and it only works if we can go to the property ourselves, right? So that was kind of our mindset and our limited beliefs when we started. And then we didn't really have a lot of systems or operations. We were just kind of just doing one deal at a time and just kind of taking our slow time with it. That was when we started back in 2021, 2022. Fast back to 2026, right? And like I said, the hot word out there, AI. What we've done alongside with our team, with Fitzroy, with Lumen, with Tuan, with Claire, everybody, we now operate at a way different level, right? We got AI-powered lead gen, automated outreach. We got AI voice agents. We got AIs doing a lot of the heavy work for us on the front end so that everything is just smoother on the back end. And a lot of people look at AI like a bad thing. We look at it like, how can it make our business better? And it does in so many different ways, all the way from lead acquisition to communication to follow-ups. So our CRM, I mean, maybe Fitz can speak on this. It's an absolute machine, right? We've implemented AI in so many different ways that is basically a system that generates leads in your inbox. I've never seen anything like this, and we're beyond excited of how things turned out. The other thing is we've expanded and we've created an insane database of buyers. So right now we got about 50,000 investors across Canada and in the US that are vetted, qualified, and they're ready to buy more deals. These are qualified and vetted. It took us a long time to create this, but now we have a VIP list. We have an insane database of investors. Obviously, we've trained a team. It's not just me and John. Now we've expanded. We have our operations. We have our acquisition team. We have our manager, operation manager, that makes sure that the deal goes smooth start to finish. And we've expanded outside of just Southern Ontario. Now we are literally all over Canada and in the US. We're doing deals all over Ontario. And by the way, all 95% of our business is virtual. We don't see the sellers. We don't meet with them. Everything is done through the pen and paper, computer and phone. That's all we really need. So now we've expanded outside of just Southern Ontario to all over Ontario. We're in Alberta, love Alberta, Saskatchewan, love Saskatoon, Regina, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, BC, British Columbia. Even though price points are crazy out there, there's still opportunity. And we're all over the US, nationwide. Alabama, Texas, Florida, Michigan, Indiana. We got about 5 deals right now between Michigan and Indiana on the go right now. So we've expanded big time, just from Southern Ontario to all over US and Canada. So if any of you guys are ever interested, whether there's Canada, US, we have built those systems. And then lastly, since we started out to where we are now, we've invested about $100,000 into personal development, into mentors, coaches. And so what that has allowed us to do is expand our network of investors across Canada and the US. So we got folks all over Canada, US, multifamily, land development. Like, we have an extensive network, which ultimately works out really well in our favor because we can get more deals to the finish line. We got connections all over Canada, US. So we've really kept investing into ourselves in our personal development. So that's what allowed us to go from basically no real estate knowledge whatsoever in 2021 to now building a 7-figure wholesale flipping business and building a 330 multifamily unit portfolio valued at about $45 million in assets under management. So love AI, love the operations, and love what it has done for our business. Fitz, I don't know if you want to add anything about AI, automations, anything you want to touch on that there?
Well, I've been wholesale now for the past 7, almost 10 years. And I remember when we just started out, there was a lot of door knocking, a lot of direct mail, a lot of money spent in direct mail. I'm not saying those methods are bad. I think all methods are actually good, but which one's the most efficient and what can actually hand you a deal on a silver platter versus hunting, right? So it's an amazing thing. I'm pretty sure you're going to be doing a demo, so I'm excited to see that.
I don't think we'll be doing a demo on this call, but definitely maybe on the next call we'll definitely do a demo. Yeah, that's a good point. We should have done that, but not on this call. But next time we will for sure. John, go ahead to the next slide. Okay, John, if you want to speak on these a little bit.
Yeah, like Jeff was saying, where we started and where we are today, obviously two completely different levels. We started with wholesaling, and then we moved into apartment buildings, and then we actually moved into private equity down in the US. So we actually own 136 units in Charleston, South Carolina, and then also 176 units in Savannah, Georgia. Those were obviously 2 huge milestones for us. And now, we're continuing to hit the ground running. As Jeff was speaking, and as we've been talking throughout this presentation, wholesaling single-family homes, I would say, is level 1. And then level 2 is wholesaling apartment buildings for a different hat of investors that are looking to deploy bigger capital, and they're looking to do the BRRRR model or buy and hold apartment buildings like the ones you see on the screen, for example. These are actually 2 deals that are closing this month, 16 units in Windsor, Ontario, and another 16 units in Hamilton. They
They
are
actually
obviously,
both closed yesterday.
yeah, they actually both closed this week, oddly enough. Um, where was I going? My train of thought. Sorry. This is level 2 is wholesaling apartment buildings. And yes, they are a little bit more complex than single family homes. But as you can see, the pay is a lot bigger and better. So yeah, this is kind of what investors love to buy is apartments like this that are built between the 1950s and the 1980s, where they can bring value and invest their capital. So we're wholesaling buildings, as you can see. That's more level 2. They are a little bit more complex. And yeah, 2 big wins for us this week, closing on these 2 apartment buildings here.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that, guys, just to give you a little bit of context on why these deals and why investors bought these deals, is the one in Windsor, Ontario. The investor was able to buy it with CMHC. So you guys may be familiar with CMHC is the biggest financing in Canada, and they were able to get them with 85% loan to value, which meant they don't have to go with as much money capital up front. They got a 50-year amortization on that mortgage and interest only payments. So it's a very, very good business model. And so they were able to buy that. That deal, we made $45,000 by helping a seller of a building, helping a buyer of a building, and putting the two together. That was literally our job. Listen to this. We've never once went to this building. Not once did we ever go to the building. Everything was done completely virtual, right? Again, because of today's technology. The one on the right side that you see there is a 16-unit apartment building in Hamilton. Very similar situation where we were able to make over $53,000 profit between finding a seller, building a good rapport with them, to finding the investor who decided to take this project on. And the best part of it is some of these sellers, because we built such a good rapport with them, once they sell these assets, because a lot of them have owned it for 15, 20 years, so they're walking away with millions of dollars. Some of them are actually interested to then invest with us because they're like, hey, I did great. It was a great experience. I have $2 million. Let's go buy an apartment building. Let's go buy a business, whatever it is, right? So that's the beautiful part about this. But guys, total profit on both these 2 deals, $98,000, $500. 2 wholesale deals, 2 apartment buildings, almost $100,000 profit. Love the business. So like I say, lots of opportunities, guys. These type of owners like this, whether it's building houses, land, they're all over. They're all over Canada. They're all over the US. These are baby boomers that have owned these assets for a long time. And now that wealth is being exchanged and is being transferred to the next generation, right? So because of that transfer of wealth, we're able to capitalize on that and profit, make these big profits, right? Keep in mind, guys, even though we made this money, the seller still walked away with millions of dollars. It was a great deal. He saved on the realtor commissions. Buyer got a great deal. So it's a win-win. But again, these baby boomers that are transferring their assets, it's happening all over Canada and it's happening all over the US. So it's a massive, massive opportunity for whoever wants to take full action with it.
Yeah, what I want to say on that, it's me and Jeff are not realtors. We're I mean, we're not realtors. It is a myth in Canada, I guess, mostly because it is very popular in the US, specifically wholesaling. But take the word wholesaling out. There is a lot of investors that transact off market, from seller, buyer, and a lawyer. That's really all you really need. But yeah, we work with both passive and active investors. So
Yes.
from the private equity sector to more active investors that are currently on the market. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to say on that.
Yeah. Good point on that, John. Yeah, so basically our 2 businesses is our wholesale business operations. So we do work one-on-one with people that want to learn the business, they want to, replicate our model there. That's the active investors. They want a machine that's generating leads in revenue. And then on the other side, we do work with passive investors, folks that may have $100, $200, $300, $500,000, but they don't want to manage a property. They don't want to go through the day-to-day. So they'll invest passively with us, or we become the active partners. And that's what you guys will find with this business. You get to pick choose the best deals for yourself, and you get to wholesale the ones you don't want to take on, which is a beautiful part of this. No, I just wanted to add to that because as we were on this, I was thinking about Darrell. Darrell's one of our clients in Florida who we just finished. Looks like we might be to the finish line, but we just helped them put together a 96 property portfolio in Jacksonville, Florida, where their net profit wholesale deal on this deal will be $1.5 million wholesale fees. I'll repeat that again. It's a 94 properties in Jacksonville, Florida, one seller. And we just found potentially a private equity that's going to take it on. And that will be a $1.5 million wholesale fee. That is not normal, but it just goes to show you the power of this business. $1.5 million USD, I have to add, which is like almost $2 million Canadian. So,
and I just want to add, you can virtually do this business, all over Canada, as you guys can see, but also in the U.S. We did close a deal down in Michigan. So again, you can do it all over Canada, all over the U.S.
I'm still jumping here for a sec, John.
Yeah, I just want to mention too, before it fits, we will be doing a Q&A towards the end of the presentation, just to let everybody know. We are heading towards the end of the presentation. But yeah, sorry, Fitz, you wanted to add something?
No, I'm just letting everyone know. I'm in the West Indies doing this virtually. I'm in Trinidad and Tobago right now. It's a little sweaty, but this business can be done anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, John. If you want to hit I believe it's the last slide, if I'm mistaken. Awesome, guys. So that's it. That's all we have. We just wanted to, again, provide a lot of value, show you guys a little bit about this business, why we love it. We're very passionate, as you guys can tell. We come from nothing. We come from literally Colombia, and come from nothing, and we've been able to generate this business and generate these revenue. So we're very passionate. We want to help more Canadians, more Americans get into this business, because there's a tremendous opportunity, tsunami of people that are looking to get into this business. So we're excited. So what we're doing right now is we're working with five investors who are looking to get started in this business, looking to replicate our business model in any market, doesn't matter whether you have experience or whether you have no experience. This business can be done, and it is 100% doable. So what you see in the screenshot, and I think it's on the chats if I'm not mistaken as well, it's basically our Calendly link, because we don't work with everybody. We're very specific on who we decide to work on, just because obviously it does take a lot of our time and energy. So we just want to make sure there's alignment from both, whoever we work with and ourselves as well. So I've shared we're going to share this presentation. The Calendly is in the chat. But if you guys want to scan this, and if you guys want to book a call with our team, free call, there's obviously no nothing. You guys are more than welcome to book a call with our team and understand a little bit about how it works and see if you qualify. We'll obviously be providing all hands-on deal support, access to our buyers list, contracts, negotiations, our system, everything, start to finish. You guys will get full access to that, but we are very limited because obviously we do work one-on-one with you, so we do have limited spots available. So I think it's on the chat. I'll stay on this page here, and then and you guys can scan that. You guys can also.
I guess, Jeff, I just thought of this. If people are on the presentation on their phone, how would they scan the QR code?
Good point. We will be sending a recording of the call, and then maybe we can attach the link in there for anybody who wants to book after. You can take a screenshot of this and then potentially, use another phone to scan it. But also, Fitzroy has also attached the link there if you guys want to book a call. I know there was eFood who I don't know if I've done that, but eFood who said, and now guys, we'll open it up for Q&As. So any questions and answers. But he said, how long can I lock up the property? Or for 1 month, 2 months, should I put down a payment? Great question. Love the question. So how long can you lock up a property? Our typical timeline is usually 20 to 25 business days that we have of due diligence. So that allows us 20 to 25 business days for us to do our homework, find a buyer, find an investor. And that's usually what the sellers will allow us to give us in time-wise. Should I put a down payment? You have to put 0 down payment, because remember, you're not buying the property. You're simply getting a purchase and sale agreement with the seller, finding a buyer, and assigning that contract to the buyer. So you actually don't have to put any down payment. There's a deposit, but it could be as little as $100, or we can negotiate it so that the deposit is due later on. So it can be $0. eFood. Timeline on a deal from start to finish, we're noticing between 30 to 35 days is usually what we notice. Great question, eFood. Let me know if that answers your question. And whoever else has question, you can put on the chat. You can also unmute yourself. Richard Smith, what happens if you can't find an investor? Love these questions. Claire, Tuan, if you guys are in the call, make sure to write these questions so we can kind of create some content around this, because I think this is actually great questions. So Richard, what happens if you can't find an investor? Great question. So if you cannot find an investor, there's two things. In that contract, you're going to have what's called a due diligence condition. That due diligence condition allows you to walk away from the deal if towards the end of that period you can't find a buyer. So basically, if you don't find a buyer within that 20 to 25 business days, whatever you negotiate, you would do what's called a mutual release, and you would walk away from the deal, and that's it. It's basically very simple. Just like if you bought a property on the MLS and you made an offer, it is conditional on financing or due diligence. It's the same idea here. Yeah. Great question. Let me know if that answers your question, Richard. If you have any other questions, put in the chat there. Rare find real estate. And I'm a solo operator, live in Calgary, but wholesaling in Ohio markets, cash and creative. You guys looking for any acquisition reps? Send them as a message. Let me see. Rare find real estate. Right now, this very moment, we do have a full-time team. So right now, this very moment, we're not necessarily looking for acquisition or disposition managers. We have pretty much that under contract, but book a call with us and see if there's any other ways that we can help out, or see if there's any way we can help you scale. Now, I'm just curious, you're in Calgary. Why are you now wholesaling in Calgary? Calgary is a great market. Like, it's a freaking Alberta is a phenomenal market.
Yeah, we have clients that we help wholesale there, and I mean Edmonton, Red Deer.
We're buying
Melbourne.
multifamily.
I mean,
we're buying multifamily.
I honestly would focus in Alberta. Alberta, it's obviously booming. So I would probably focus more on Alberta. But yeah, Jeff, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, rare findings, real estate. Creative financing. I know there's this hot thing about creative financing all over the US, pays mortgage and all this stuff. Creative financing works in Canada or US. The difference is that in Canada, if you're doing single family, you can do creative financing on a single family, but you can do creative financing when it comes to assuming other people's debt, right? But keep in mind, just because you're assuming people's debt, it's not a good thing. Like, you're getting into the property, but you have no equity. You have zero equity. So if the roof goes off, if the windows, if you have to replace, that's money coming out of your pocket. So it's not as attractive as some people do. If it's sub two, if you're doing creative financing by the seller actually financing the property, it could work. And we actually do a lot of creative financing, both Canada and the US. But definitely, yeah, send us a message. You can book a call with us and see if we can help out or how we can, help around that. So that's a great question. Alex Revechu, create a clause in the contract. Maybe if you want to elaborate on that a little bit more.
I think he was saying he was trying to respond to the person that asked the first question in regards to the contract, pretty much.
Oh yes, yeah. Due diligence. That's exactly right. You do have a due diligence condition in there. Obviously, guys, we got to make a disclaimer. We are not lawyers. We're not making it seem like we're lawyers. But yeah, there is due diligence conditions, things like that, and that's something that obviously we can help out with. We can provide the contracts and all that, absolutely, as part of our community here. Alex, Richard Smith. Okay, great. Thanks for that. Awesome, Richard. Ask questions away, guys. This is your time. Rare finds, same efforts in US yields 33% plus 33 currency exchange. You could say that. I mean, absolutely. That's definitely your opinion, by all means. But I will say, just keep in mind what's happening in the US, because there is markets in the US right now, like Alabama. This happened in Arizona, and it also happened in South Carolina, Oklahoma, where you cannot wholesale unless you have a realtor license. That is something that is happening. It is happening more and more in the US. So do keep that in mind, that there may be more regulation, more things happening in the US. We're not seeing any of that at all in Canada. So just do keep that in mind. But absolutely, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. Love the US. We wholesale in the US even now. So I'm not disagreeing with you. But absolutely. But I just like Alberta a lot. I love Alberta a lot. It's a great market. Alex, what is the most effective method to source deals? Great question. There's different methods. There's one that we specifically like. Obviously, there's door knocking, there's driving for dollars, there's all that stuff, and then there's other methods that are better. We like to use AI as much to our business. But Alex, absolutely, if you wanna dive a little bit deeper into that, like I said, book a call with us. It can walk you through that. But all that to say, guys, all marketing strategies work. It's just a matter of how committed will you stay to that specific strategy, right? Right now, obviously, we've gone through everything. We've tried everything that you can think of. So we've got it down to a science in our system, in our ways. But great question. You can do driving for dollars. You can do direct mail. You can do bandit signs. There's a lot of different ways that work really well, Alex. Yes, seller finance. Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Nancy, love that name. That's actually my mom's name. How is the Ontario market? You're saying Alberta is good, but I'm wondering about Ontario. Ontario is just as hot, just as hot. Obviously, there's differences in Ontario.
Yeah,
We do-
obviously, as you know, sorry, Jeff, to interrupt there so quick, as you know, January sales in real estate are down from the previous year. That doesn't mean deals aren't selling, right? So in regards to Ontario specifically, as you can see, these two apartment buildings that we're signing, that were closed this month, it all starts on the deal, right? What does the deal look like? As you know, investors are buying, but they're just not buying as much as when 2021 or 2022 hit. We do currently have a fix and flip in Cambridge with around 180K spread, and then we also have a fourplex that's underperforming in Chatham. It's 334K, and the ARV is around 495.20. So Ontario's good. There's obviously a lot of investors here, but it's on a deal by deal basis, and obviously the team and operations behind yourself and the team. But just
Yeah,
wanted to add
Nancy. Yeah, Ontario is great. We love Ontario. We're still doing deals in Ontario. Just like I said earlier, the deal just has to make sense. It has to make sense. It can't be like a seller that bought it in 2022, overpaid for it, and now we're going to pay the same. No, it has to make sense. So sellers have to have equity. There has to be a play behind it. What we're noticing in Ontario right now is investors that are doing fix and flips. That's very, very hot right now. Fix and flips, numbers make sense. Land development, multifamily, those are all people. What I would say is a lot of people are not buying houses to rent them out. That's something that I'm not seeing as much just because of obviously the market and where things are at the moment. But Ontario is great. We love Ontario. We got a ton of deals in Ontario. We're doing land development. It's great. Like all these markets are great. Ontario, Alberta. We personally just like Alberta for us for multifamily. Love multifamily in Alberta because it's landlord friendly. That's the main reason for that. But great question, Nancy. Let me know if that answers your question. E-food. How do you find motivated sellers locally and remote? Great question. Great question. You can use, like I said, you do drive for dollars. You could do for sale by owners, right? If you want more specific strategies that we're implementing with AI, with automations and inbound leads, go ahead and book a call with us, and then we'll share exactly what those strategies are. But there's a lot of different strategies. Bandit signs, flyers, all these strategies work really, really well. So great question there. Alex said, if the seller already has a mortgage with a bank, can you still do seller finance, or do they have to pay off their bank lender? Again, love the questions. So if the seller has a a mortgage on it, basically you only really want to do seller finance if the seller has no debt or very close to little debt, like maybe 10, 20K. If there's already a mortgage in place, they have to pay that off. So in most cases, seller financing won't work when it comes to a single family house, let's say. Because there's not, like, they have to pay off that mortgage, and then whatever is left after that, they'll do seller finance. So usually we like when they have no debt to very little debt, and that way we can get a higher seller finance, like 80%, 90% loan to value, as opposed to when they have a first mortgage, they usually will have a lot of the debt to them. So, and again, this is the thing with seller financing, guys. Seller financing has to make sense for the seller. Remember this. We're here for the seller. It has to make sense for the seller. Why would they sell it to you and hold a mortgage unless they're investors, they have other properties, they have a lot of equity, maybe they're going to put that money in a bank. But if they're going to use those proceeds to buy another property, most likely they're not going to do seller finance. On the multifamily, Alex, I will say, because your mortgages are higher and the cost to break them is higher, you tend to see a lot more seller finance on that aspect of it, which is like you assume somebody's debt because it's high is more to break those mortgages. Great question. Richard, do you need to create a business entity when you're negotiating a contract, or can you describe yourself as a buyer? No. Again, we're not lawyers, so we always got to throw a disclaimer out there. You can do it under your own personal name for now, and then eventually what we usually teach people is once you close your first couple deals, then you can create a corporation. But no, you can do it under your name. When we started out, we did it under our own name. Again, we're not here giving legal advice. Do seek a lawyer if you want to clarify on that. But as from what we know, you can do it under your name. We've done it under our own name before. Yeah. Brandon B. Love that name. I had to sleep. Arm, PST. We're going to, yeah. So Brandon, there will be a recording of this call. We will send it to everybody who registered for this. We're just going over questions, Q&As. But yeah, we will be able to send the recording. Also, if you want to book a call with our team, I believe the link should be in the chat somewhere. Is there a way to pin it? and then you can book a call with our team if you want to learn exactly how we do it and how we can help you in regards to that. But yeah, we will be sending the recording of the call, Brandon. Awesome. Nancy, awesome. Send me the Chatham building info. Jay Burrows. Yeah, absolutely. We'll send over the details on that Chatham. That's actually one of our clients, and it's a second deal. First deal he already wholesaled, and he's on the second deal. So absolutely, Jay Burrows. Send us a message with your, I guess we'll have your email, John, if you want to make note of that, Jay Burrows. We'll send the details of that. Okay. Brandon B said, seems a lot harder to find wholesale deals here than in the US because you can't find who owns a house and get their number when the state's basically public info. Who knows what, easy to find. So that's actually not entirely true, right? So in Canada, if you're in Ontario, depends where you are, right? But in Ontario, we can pull what's called the geo warehouse and see who owns the property. And there is methods, there is way for us to contact that owner. But to your point, yeah, it is public information in the US, so everything is public, so you can go. But there's a pros and cons to everything, right, guys? Remember, Brendan, maybe you were on the call earlier. We do business in Canada and in the US, so we do business across the board. Now, what you'll find in the US is easier to get that information. Therefore, there's a lot more competition, right? Whereas in Canada, yeah, that information not going to be available, but because of there's less information, less people doing it, there is more or less competition in Canada. So there is pros and cons to every market, but we honestly find it is actually just as easy, if not, it's actually a little bit easier to do it in Canada because there's less competition and most people don't even know you could wholesale in Canada. So we do find that there is a lot of motivation right now with the interest rates and everything that's happening. So, I mean, we love both markets, guys. Love the US, love Canada, and we can do it in both markets. Brandon, if you want to learn how to do it in the US from Canada, book a call with us and we can show you how to do that as well. Because again, we do it in both markets. Awesome, Alex. Lumen, how do we find buyers as beginners without a buyer's list? Great question. So one of the ways that you can find a buyer without having a buyer's list is, reaching out to realtors in the market, reaching out to investors that may be active in the market, Facebook groups. You could also do realtors. You can message realtors in the market and say, hey, I have this deal. Are you interested in buying those deals? That's kind of one way. We do also have a platform that we actually created for this position and for investors. So we do have that available as well. Joseph, I think it's just a note taker. Okay, it's just a note taker. Makes sense. Thank you. How do you explain wholesaling to realtors and lawyers to convince them wholesaling is above board? Great question. So there's no really convincing, right, Donna? It's just your realtor and the lawyers have to be investor focused friendly. They have to know the business, right? You can't really convince somebody, especially in Canada, right? So I guess elaborate on that a little bit, Donna, even if you want to unmute yourself.
Well, I think it even goes back to the myth, right, Jeff? Is wholesaling legal in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Again, you can transact real estate in Canada with a buyer, a seller, and a lawyer. So there's really, you got to look at facts as well. There's obviously realtors who have their license and are investor knowledgeable, if that makes sense. And then there's some realtors that obviously have never heard of it because it is a niche skill in Canada. Obviously, it's very popular in the US, but there's really not convincing. Now, the heavy hitter investors that are buying properties at 40 cents on the dollar before it gets to your retail buyer on the MLS, there's lawyers that transact real estate off market. You can find 100 of them on Google or in Ontario or Canada. Our lawyers are real estate focused, so they understand what we're doing for investors when we're assigning a fix and flip or a 16-unit apartment building. So there really isn't any convincing. They just either know the facts or don't know the facts, and they're maybe in La La Land, or they're just your regular Bob and Joe realtor, and they just don't know what that is. So
and just to add to that, we do have in-house lawyers in our community. So we do have lawyers literally within our community that this is all they do. All they do is real estate. Some of them are actually wholesalers. So we do have that in our community. That's part of the network. As you're in the industry, talking to the right people that are in the industry, they know what they're doing. So I guess that answers your question, Donna. Let me know if that answers your question. Unless you were talking about realtors, like if you're trying to wholesale a property that is on the MLS, if that's what you're talking about, we usually don't recommend to do deals from the MLS. Usually you want to go off market directly to the seller. And just for context for everybody here, this is the process. I find a lead, like if I find a seller, I make them an offer, I have a contract with that seller, right? I usually will put a deposit, or I'll be dealing directly with the seller's lawyer. Now, once I have a buyer, they like the property, they want to move forward with the property, they're going to have their own lawyer. That lawyer is going to put a deposit into my lawyer's account, and then we connect the two lawyers. So there's a bit of a process. There is 3 different lawyers working on each transaction: seller, buyer, my own lawyer. I don't know if that's going to confuse people, but I just want to kind of point that out. But Donna, let me know if that answers your question. How do we remote? So eFood said, and
Yes.
Joseph said, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
It did. My concern was, okay, so I live a little remotely. So how do I find a lawyer in this area?
Are you in Ontario, or whereabouts are you, Donna?
I'm in northwestern Ontario, out near the Manitoba border.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm 3.5 hours from Winnipeg.
Okay, perfect. So, I mean, obviously, I don't know, like, on their specific, we do have lawyers in our community, Donna, that this is all they do. They specialize in this, and they'd be able to help you out. If you want,
I actually know a couple lawyers in Manitoba. So Donna, if you want to book a call with us, I'd be happy to kind of walk you through that.
Yeah, we'd be
I'm
happy
actually in Ontario. I'm in Ontario, but near the Manitoba
Oh,
border.
I see. Okay.
We have in our community, Donna, we actually do have lawyers in Ontario. We have lawyers in Alberta, so they can definitely help out, and you can use their, like, this is all they do, so they'll actually know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, definitely book a call with us and see if we can help you out. And yeah, great question, Donna. Absolutely. So okay, a couple more questions here. So we got eFood. He said, how do we remote real estate wholesalers estimate repair costs for a property in the US when they're located in other countries so they can price assignment contract correctly? Let me read that again. How do we remote real estate wholesalers estimate repair? eFood, maybe if you want to mute yourself, I'm not sure if I understand the code.
I think I kind of estimated, but yeah, definitely book a call with us to see how we can help. Now, in regards to repair costs, right? An average, I would say, usually you can average between 20 to 50K depending on the property. If it's a duplex, you can do 20K per bedroom depending on the condition of the property. You can also ask the seller, what's the current condition of the property. You just want a rough estimate, right? Because you're not an inspector, you're not a contractor, right? So it's up to the investor who wants to buy the deal. It's their due diligence to do their estimation on the repair costs and so on. But if you do quick of the napkin math and you go, well, this deal, I have it under contract for 200, but the ARV is 410, then you can kind of just play it that way. But that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. And you'll never be perfect. Like, keep in mind, if you make an offer to the seller, doesn't mean you can't renegotiate, right? Let's say we have a buyer that walked through it and he's like, hey, I don't want it at this price. That actually makes sense at this price. It's all negotiation, right? We can go back and say, hey, you know what, Mr. Seller, I thought it was going to be this, but it's actually, this is what the write-offs are, right? So there is negotiation as well. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to have an estimate, right? Like, oh, the property's falling apart. You're like, oh, it's 10K in rentals. Well, obviously that's going to backfire on you, right? eFood, hope that answers the question. Ronald, love the name Ronald. Are you using a 70% rules in that you have any other ways than Facebook to find investors? Yeah, so that 70% rule is one we use, but every deal is different, right? Not every investor is trying to buy and flip a property. Some investors want to buy and hold, right? Some investors may want to buy it and tear down and develop on it. So it is on a deal by deal basis. So it just really depends. If it's near a college, they might be doing a student rental. So they may not care about the 70% if they can rent each room for 500, 600, 700 bucks. So every deal is different, but that is one of the rules that we use. Facebook is obviously one method. We build our own buyers list and we have a massive database. Ronald, sorry. So that's how we find investors, and there is other platforms and sources that you can find investors. But yeah, by all means, Ronald, if you want to book a call with us, we'll be happy to share with you other ways and other methods in which you can find investors. Facebook's one. I guess it depends also if you're talking about US, Canada. You can go to events, meetups, and talk to people, talk to investors as well. So different methods for sure. Alex Revenku, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Awesome, Donna. Thank you for joining. I think she's heading out. Alex Ravenku. So he said, do you know how much are lawyer fees typically for a basic duplex conversion if I want to buy one for myself, 2 to 3K? So are you talking about lawyer fees to close on the property, or Alex, if you want to kind of give more context on that? I know for wholesaling specifically, typical wholesale fees, I think John, what was it today, 14 or 1,200 for the building?
1,200.
$1,200 was for this building that we just wholesale. If you're looking to buy a property, or if you're looking for that, it may be a little bit more because they have to do more homework. They have to pull title, they have to do this, they have to do that. But I'd say, yeah, 2 to 3K is usually pretty safe. Now, if that's what you're asking, if you're asking for anything else specifically, like you know how much a lawyer fees to be for a basic duplex conversion if I want to buy one for myself? Yeah, I think that's what you're saying. So yeah, that should make sense. 2 to 3K is a good safe ground. Every lawyer is different, of course. Yeah. Great question, Alex. Awesome, guys. I love it. I love the questions. Keep them coming. We're happy to answer them, and that's what we're here for, guys. We're here to provide support, guidance. We've done over 200 deals at this point, and steadily growing, steadily doing more deals. So I almost want to say there's almost no deals we haven't seen. So we have a lot of experience when it comes to that, and happy to provide value and happy to help other people. So if you guys are interested, book a call and see if it's a good fit for both of us, and see if we're able to help you get to your goals, guys. 2026, beginning of the year, it's a great time to learn this business and make money with this business. I see Fitzroy's attaching the link there as well. Awesome.
Yeah, I think we'll start wrapping it up. We will have the recording of this call sent out to everyone who registered for the webinar. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope everyone got some valuable lessons, and yeah, happy to chat with everyone, and yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, we'll be hosting some more webinars as we kind of grow and as we do more things. So we'll be hosting some other webinars, multifamily, other things. Now, I want to say, guys, just very quickly, we don't just wholesale properties. We also build a portfolio. We also help people build their portfolio, whether they want to do land development, multifamily. Like, we're very versatile from that sense. So we don't just help people with wholesale. We also help people build their portfolio, find deals, raise capital, build a presence. So we do help folks from other angles as well. So awesome, guys. I think we're going to be wrapping it up, but no.
Hey, Jeff, just before you shut it down, I mean,
Yeah.
for all of those who stayed all the way to the end, is there anything we can do in terms of what we do for the mentorship? Is there a special offer there that we have going on?
Yeah. You know what?
I know we're gonna.
Yeah, I think
in terms of percentage based. Go ahead.
For the first 5 people that registered through this link, through this webinar, once we hop on a one-on-one meeting with you guys, I'm sure we'll provide some really good value and incentives for you guys. So looking forward to chatting with whoever's interested in what we're putting here towards the end.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further from that because it's past 8 p.m. Love the commitment, love whoever's on this call. If you guys are still on this call, when you're jumping, if you do book a call with us, what we're willing to do is whatever the investment is, we'll give you guys 25% off for the people that stay till 8 p.m. We love the commitment, and we want to incentivize those that take action. And so that's what we'll do for anybody who's still on the call here. We'll provide a discount, 25% off of the investment. So just obviously because you guys are here, you guys know that. so you guys can, when we do talk on the call, just remind us on that. And then obviously whoever left.
Well, I'll be able to track it, so you're fine.
Okay. Right on.
Beautiful.
Awesome,
Thank you
guys.
everyone for joining.
Just last thing, guys, here, because I think we do have Andrew on the call here. For anybody who is interested in development, we do have a really good deal out in Huntsville. It's a land development deal. So if anybody's interested in Huntsville, Muskoka area, reach out and we're happy to provide.
Yeah, if you're a big time investor, it is a really, really good opportunity. It's almost permit ready where you can actually build a 15-unit building. So a lot of upside, a lot of value. If you're into that space, send us a message. Happy to show the deal to you.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
All right,
thank you everyone for coming.
Ladies, thank you everybody, and have a
good night, and thank you so much, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.
If you want to stop recording now, John. Awesome. I guess I can do it. Stop recording.